Welcome to your FreeSides assembly guide. Start your assembly process with cutting all the long lengths of steel and aluminum. Depending on your cutting setup, start with the steel tube as per the deductions in the assembly manual. Make sure that all safety and personal protective equipment is used during the assembly process. Ensure all safety equipment and guards are operating effectively and operational training has been provided. Cut all profiles, including the cassette front and back and bottom rails. Depending on your setup, similar profile may be cut simultaneously as long as all safety clamps are used. Having cut the FreeSides bottom rail, insert any hold-down saddles into the bottom rail by sliding into the profile that can also be used for a weather strip on the other awning systems. Insert the FreeSides end caps into each end of the bottom rail. These are secured in place with the screw provided. Repeat this process for both ends. For skin manufacturing, refer to the deduction sheet for the overall skin width and drop. Depending on your setup, cut and square the skin first. Weld the keyway kedar top and bottom appropriate to the system you run. Refer to the assembly manual for the final top shoulder cutouts. Slide the bottom rail onto the awning skin. Centralize the fabric and fix off with screws provided. For a full cassette FreeSides system, assemble the end caps according to the system you are assembling. For gearbox operation, install a 7-to-1 gearbox on the side of operation using the Allen bolts and lock nuts supplied. The opposite end will have a stainless steel pivot pin and plate. For an electric motor operation, attach the square drive plate to the end cap using Allen screws provided. The pivot pin and plate will go on the opposite end cap. For the open bracket motorized system, follow the same procedure as with the cassette end caps. For the gearbox on the open bracket, ensure that the crank is in the forward position when lining up the screw ports. Insert the 78mm drive and idle ends into the tube. As these have open ends, the awning skin can be easily slid on. For an electric motor, there will be a 78mm motor crown adapter and a 78mm drive adapter. Remember to ensure the crown adapter and tube reducer goes onto the motor before the drive adapter. Secure the drive adapter onto the end of the electric motor. Once the drive adapter has been secured to the electric motor, the assembled motor unit can now be inserted into the 78mm tube by lining up the keyway openings in the drive and crown adapters. With either the motor or gearbox drive end inserted, you can slide the tube onto fabric skin through the keyway tube. Once centralized onto the tube, roll up so the fabric is rolling off the back of the tube. If you are assembling a gearbox-operated FreeSides system, you will need to allow for a cut out of a small section to allow the gearbox crank. Measure in 35mm in from the operation side on the front cassette and 45mm up from the bottom. If you are assembling an electric motor system, this step is not required. If you are assembling a full cassette FreeSides system, attach the assembled end caps by screwing onto the rear cassette. Your FreeSides awning is now ready to be packed up and ready for installation. Thanks for partnering with Shaw of Australia and the FreeSides Awning System.